What's up, vinyl community? It's Talk Guy, the Thrashing Zombie. This is a contest entry. Stay tuned. So this contest entry is for the Accusation Network. Matt G. Paradise is his name. He just reached 2,000 subscribers and he's holding a contest. He's got 8 questions. He's got 3 tiers of winning. You can win stickers and stuff, and one's vinyl, another one's like CD or cassette tape, and a t-shirt or flag or something. But he's got 3 tiers of winning. I'm not sure how he's going to do that, but he's got 8 questions and they're pretty, it's a lot of stuff here. So he's going by, it's all Kiss themed, the questions. Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, Destroyer, Love Gun, Unmasked, Creatures of the Night, Asylum, and Revenge. So the first one is Hotter Than Hell. It says, show me an album cover or a song that depicts fire, flames, or the burning pits of hell. And tell me about the hottest place you ever visited and why you were there. So I picked, for this one, for the record, is Devil Child. They're obviously in a pit of hell, by what I can see. She's like a Satan worshiper or something, holding possibly a devil child. It looks like a pit of hell. So the hottest place I've ever been, thinking back, it's probably either when I was in California and we were on vacation, or we're headed back to Vermont. We stopped in Arizona. My stepdad was we were visiting his, he called her Nana or something. It was his friend's grandmother, though. This was in Phoenix, Flagstaff, I don't know. It was somewhere in Arizona anyway. And it was hot as hell there. It must have been pushing at least 100 degrees. And it was so freaking hot. And that's the story. I haven't really been to a lot of hot places, really. I've been to a lot of places, but I can't remember. That's probably the hottest place I remember being, was in Arizona. It was almost 100 degrees. We were visiting my stepfather's friend's grandmother. So, yes. That's the first question. Second question is based on Dressed to Kill. Show me an album cover or a song that depicts either extremely fancy dress or no dressing at all. Then tell me about an outfit or style of dress you wore as a kid that you wouldn't be caught dead in now. So, fancy dress. This would be Brittany Fox. Look how fancy they look. Pretty dang fancy, if you ask me. That was the style back in the 80s, really, wasn't it? For a lot of these glam bands. So, dress, clothes I wouldn't be caught dead in. Outfit or style of dress you wore as a kid you wouldn't be caught dead in now. My mom dressed me in bell bottoms when I was probably 6 or 7, with almost a sweater vest, but it was kind of red. May have been even younger than that. It was the 70s, so I was wearing bell bottoms. I don't remember the color of the pants, but I remember seeing a picture of me in like this sweater vest type of thing, and it was like red, like bright red or maroon or something. And I assume she put me in bell bottoms because it was the 70s. So yeah, that's one thing I would not be caught dead in now, wearing like a sweater vest or bell bottoms or brightly colored clothes. I do have some, but not a sweater vest. So there's question 2. Question 3 is based on Destroyer. Show me an album cover or a song that depicts someone or something in the act of destruction. And tell me about your own tale of destruction, however you choose to define that. So, Nuclear assault, game over. Nothing like a good old freaking nuclear bomb to cause destruction. A lot of destruction happening here. Great album too, by the way. So my own personal tale of destruction coincides with another question that I'll answer later. The revenge one. So in high school, I had a best friend, and he had a girlfriend, which I thought was super hot. So she broke up with him and asked me to go out with her. On the same day, she broke up with him. Because of that, everybody in our friends group totally shunned me, basically. Thought I did was completely wrong, which, thinking back now, yes, it was completely wrong. But, you know, I was 17, 18 years old at the time, something like that. And she was fucking hot. So, yeah, that basically destroyed my high school experience, and my group of friends I had destroyed my basic credibility of being a good friend, which I always thought I was, and turned out I was not. So, that is my tale of personal destruction. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Love Gun. Show me an album cover or a song that depicts either firearms or large projectile weaponry such as cannons or catapults. Then tell me your story involving either guns or getting a girl or guy. So, my guns. Overkill. Taking over. They got some machine guns by the looks. Yes, guns. Story about getting a girl. Or either guns or getting a girl. Never shot a gun, really. Getting a girl. Should have thought about this question beforehand, I guess. So, getting a girl. My first girlfriend in high school. Before we started dating, we were in the same English class together, I think. And she was at one side of the room and I was at the other. But we kept stealing glances at each other. And I was a pussy. Didn't really know how to talk to girls. And I was scared. And she didn't make a move and I didn't make a move. So one day, this was after actually I got suspended from school for smoking in the boys' room. And I had written her a note, because that's what high school kids do, write notes, or they used to. So I wrote the note, and the next day I had a doctor's or a dentist appointment, and my mom had to bring me because I had a car, but since I got suspended, they said, we're taking your car away for the days you're suspended, or a week or something. I forgot what it was. So before the dentist appointment, I asked my mom to drive to the school, because it was right after school got out, so I could drop off the note. And everybody was outside at the smoking corner, and I told her to pull over there. I jumped out of the car as quickly as I could, went up to her, handed her the note without saying a word, didn't even look at her in the eye, and got back in the car, and I told my mom, drive. Just like that. Scared out of my mind. Luckily, when I went back to school, which was on Monday or something, I think this was a Thursday or a Friday, there was a note in my locker from her, because I had asked her, that I told her that I liked her, thought she was very pretty, blah blah blah, and I asked if she wanted to be my girlfriend, and she said yes. So that's how her and I got together. Didn't end well. You know, obviously, because high school relationships never do. But that's my story of getting a girl. Me, a scared, skinny 17-year-old. All right. These are kind of personal and vulnerable questions, Matt. Unmasked. Show me an album cover or a song that depicts revealing of something or someone. And tell me about one of your favorite Halloween costumes. Alright, so this one, I should have taken this out of the plastic. Revealing. This is Possessed Beyond the Gates. And you open this and you reveal this and this. There goes the inner sleeve. And then this. So it's this big picture. So you reveal, I guess, part of hell. From what I would assume, since it's possessed, you know, sings a lot about Satan and hell. So, there's Revealing. Possessed Beyond the Gates. What a great album this is. My favorite Halloween costume. I stopped dressing up in costumes in teenage years. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I dressed up. Well, actually, no. I dressed up with my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, but dressed up one year as zombies. We got like these old, I got this old powder blue suit, which is like a prom suit at a thrift store, and she got this old like prom dress, and we threw them in the dirt. This is probably my favorite costume, yeah. This is the story. We threw them in the dirt, got them all dirty and stuff. I mean, we ripped them a little bit, got them super dirty, threw some fake blood on there, and then we put on like white face paint. And, God, I wish I had those pictures right now. We had pictures taken, in black and white no less. White face paint made us look like zombies. We had blood on our faces and stuff. And we decorated the house and everything. And we tried to scare kids when they came to the door. So that with my wife, dressing up as prom zombies, basically. I think that was the last time we actually dressed up. She put on a blonde curly wig. You know, we looked pretty good actually, so that was pretty fun. Yeah, so that's the story of my favorite Halloween costume. Second one would be the old plastic Spider-Man I had when I was a kid, which sometimes I go for a lot now. The suit was made out of plastic, and they had the plastic mask, and this went to like right here, you know, with the string. There's a name for that, a certain brand, but I can't remember it. Okay. Creatures of the Night. Show me an album cover or a song that depicts vampires, werewolves, or other mythical beings who lurk in the shadows. And tell me about one of your wildest nighttime stories. This one is tough. If you look closely at this picture, this cover, there are creatures lurking in the shadows behind these travelers. They look like demons or gremlins, if you look close enough, or ogres. Just, yeah. So there's that. My wildest nighttime stories. Should have thought about this one too. Wildest nighttime stories. Shit. So the crazy night story. I mean, I never really got that crazy when I was younger. There's a few that were crazy in my mind at the time. One of them was with my ex, the mother of my child, who we're not together anymore. Her and I and her cousin went to a party, I think, of her other cousin, the brother of her cousin, at their new house, her new apartment. A bunch of people there. We were all drinking, having a good time. and then this other girl showed up. This Asian. I don't know if she was Chinese or Japanese or Korean. She was Asian. And at the time, I was really into smoking weed. And I liked the weed a lot. And nobody there had weed until this Asian girl showed up. And it got around the room that she had weed. I really wanted to get stoned. So, when I heard that, I kept looking over at her. And my ex, in her jealousness, thought I was checking her out. No. I was waiting to see if she was going to go smoke. I was keeping an eye on her. Yes, she was good looking, but that's not why I was looking at her. So eventually she went outside, and I'm like, okay, they're going to go smoke. So I told my girlfriend, I'll be right back. She thought I was going to go hit on this other girl. But I went out there anyway, and I wasn't invited to smoke, but I wanted to smoke anyway. I was pushing myself in. And I did get a couple hits. And then my girlfriend came out with her cousin, and she looked at me, she goes, "We're leaving. You can stay here with your slut friend," or something to that effect. And she walked off, walking back to her house. And I couldn't believe it. Everybody was just looking at me. And I looked at the other girl and I said, "She thinks I was hitting on you, but I like you, and all I want to do is get stoned." So, fast forward, I was drunk. My truck was parked there. I wasn't going to drive, so I decided, okay, I'll walk to her house as well, try to fix things. So I caught up to them before they actually got to their house, and I tried talking to her, and she kept yelling at me. And then, in a drunken fit, wasn't rage, in a drunken stupor, I made the mistake of grabbing her by the shoulders and pushing her against a fence or a wall or something. Since I was drunk, I don't know if it was harder than I thought or what. And I kind of realized what I did, and I backed away, and they kept walking, and I was yelling to her, saying how much I loved her, and please forgive me. Somebody called the cops. A cop came and said I needed to go somewhere else. Yeah. Like I said, personal questions here, Matt. Probably could have done a less personal one, but whatever. So, from that point, I still didn't want to drive. So I decided to walk to my work, which was a third shift job, stuffing newspapers with flyers. I had the night off, obviously. So I walked there, which was probably 3 miles from where I was, and hung out there for a little bit. Then I got a ride back, and they dropped me off in downtown, which was halfway between where my truck was and where my ex-girlfriend's house was. And I finally felt sober enough to drive. This was probably 5 or 6 hours later. And I walked back to my truck and I drove home. And at the time, it seemed like a crazy, crazy night. To a lot of people, no, it probably wasn't. They probably would have thought it was crazy. But to me at the time, it was a crazy night and caused a lot of drama in my life, which was the start of the end, basically, for her and I. So, yeah. There's that. And there's the cover again of the Creatures of the Night. Bringing up some old memories here, Matt. Old memories. Alright, the next one's Asylum. Your breath smells. Show me an album cover or a song that depicts insanity, committal to a mental facility, or on the path to losing your mind. And tell me about one of the craziest dudes you ever met. Your breath is stinky, Sadie. Tyson Dog, Crimes of Insanity. This is a room padded room with a woman. Yeah, that's insanity. So, my story isn't about a dude, it's about a girl. I'm not going to tell you her name. I don't think she watches my videos. I don't know if she has access to the internet. But she, I believe her to be homeless. And people call her crazy. And a couple stories. I always liked her. I mean, she was a little weird. But one day, I asked her if she just wanted to hang out. Go for a drive. She said, sure. So we went for a drive, and then we were just sitting somewhere, and we were just talking. She happened to mention that pooping is not normal. People shouldn't poop, because basically, if you poop, it's just bad things and demons coming out of your body. And if you poop, you have demons in you. Yeah. And then another story, she came into the store where I was working, the convenience store, and, I always talked to her. She was nice enough. But she was telling me how excuse me, how the homeless encampment she was living in, they call it Tent City at the time, she was staying there, and it was nighttime, and they had a fire going. They were just kind of sitting around, and they were just talking, drinking a little bit or whatever. And she said that she looked over at one guy, and then as she was looking at him, off to his side, I forgot what side it was, but she saw these hands come out of the ground and pull themselves up out of the ground. It was some kind of creature of some sort. Came out, pulled itself out of the ground, grabbed the guy she was looking at, okay, and dragged him down into the hole the creature made, and then the hole sealed itself up. She said this with all sincerity and truthfulness, like it actually happened. Yeah. There's a reason they call her crazy. Is she actually crazy? I have no idea. But she would say stuff like that all the time. And during the winter, we never see her around here. But in the summertime, we see her walking, like, everywhere. Where she's going, I have no idea. But yeah, that's the craziest person I've ever met. Revenge. Show me an album cover or a song that depicts any sort of payback, vendetta, or just desserts. And tell me about a time when you got some sweet revenge or someone got revenge on you. So, this one was a little tough too for the cover, but this is Indestructible Noise Command, called Razorback. And it looks like to me, this guy was the doctor, and this was the experiment. And now the experiment is getting revenge on the doctor. And if you see, I just noticed this when I was looking at this earlier. This says Manson, and this says Krueger, as in Freddy Krueger and Charles Manson. So basically, it's an insane asylum. Yeah. So there's revenge. This creature experiment is getting revenge on the doctor. It's pretty cool. Okay, another personal story. This goes back to the... what question was that? The other one I said where I'd be answering another question. The destruction one, where I just destroyed my friendships and whatnot. This has to do with that. This is the rest of the story. This is the revenge that my best friend, and actually his ex, who was my girlfriend at the time, got on me for doing what I did. Even though it was partially her fault as well. But anyway, while her and I were dating, he started dating my ex, the one I handed the note to in one of the other questions. Possibly to get revenge on me. But that's not the revenge part. The revenge part is, while we were all dating, secretly, him and my girlfriend at the time, his ex, were seeing each other in secret. And the rest of our group of friends, most of them, knew about it. Okay? It gets better. So, while they were secretly dating, they also came up with a plan to get even more revenge on me. What they did was, at one point, I don't know when, they spent the night at my house one night while they were dating. So I don't know if it happened then or some other time, but they somehow got a hold of some of my checks for my bank account. Okay? So they forged my signature on a check for $3,000, which apparently what I told them I had in my checking account or bank account, for $3,000. Okay? And I would also let her hold my car keys sometimes during school in case she wanted to go out when she had a free period or something to smoke a cigarette or just to chill in the car. So the day this happened, she had my car keys. So on this day, she acted a little weird in the morning, and I could tell something was up, but, you know, whatever. It was high school. So I was called to the office about halfway through the day, and said I had a phone call from my mom. I thought, oh crap, you know, something happened. Somebody died in the family. No, it was my mom calling because the bank had called her because somebody had gone there with a check with my signature for $3,000 saying that I bought a car off of them. And the way it was set up at the time, because I was under 18, they needed my mom's approval. So they called her. And they told her what this person looked like. And it was described as my girlfriend at the time. So I went out to see if she was in the car, if it was her. My car was gone. The car was not in the parking lot. So I was freaking out. And then I was out there smoking a cigarette, freaking out, walking around. And then other people in our group started coming out, asked me what was happening. And I told them. And I thought it was just her. Until a couple of other people that knew what was happening came out and said, no, it's both of them. And we knew that they were seeing each other behind their backs. And we knew that they were going to run away together. We didn't know that they were going to try to take your money. We didn't know. The plan was that they were going to take your car to the bus station and leave it at the bus station and take a bus somewhere. So, yeah, the cops came. I called the cops. The cops came. I told them what happened and stuff. And this is a long story. Eventually, I found out that everybody in our friends group basically knew what was happening, except for, 3 or 4 people. They finally found them. They ran out of gas in Connecticut. They ran out of gas in Connecticut. They found them on the side of the road with no gas in the car, huddled up for warmth because it was like March or something. And then they brought him back home and they sent her down to Tennessee or something. And then as he came back to school eventually, and he turned everybody against me, pretty much. Lied about stuff. I mean, it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, he got revenge on me. He basically turned all my friends against me, stole my car, tried to steal all my money. And that's the story of revenge. I'm not a vengeful person. I wouldn't do that, but yeah. Anyway, this is a long video. Some personal stories that I've never told anybody outside my family. So yeah. Anyway, Matt, congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. It's well deserved. Your videos are very well executed, and professionally done. And I know they're that way because you used to work in the media anyway, that type of media and stuff. You say stuff like that before, and you're a local Vermonter, which is great. You live in Burlington, and I live down south in White River Junction, which is, I think it's a couple hours away. So, local Vermonter to local Vermonter. Again, thank you for this contest, and I keep my fingers crossed that I win something. I haven't won any contest ever. So, rock on until next time.